Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are
Hey,
you?
what up?
I'm doing good. Sorry, Mari, I love kind of throughout this show the constant theme of, a woman having to, in a time when women had to prove themselves over and over again, that she just puts herself out there and is like, yes, no, it's me, I'm the doctor. And I love that she doesn't let the men in her life kind of put her down. And it
Mhm.
is one of the most inspiring is the wrong word, but it is inspiring to see that she never lets them put her in this box that they kind of want to put her in.
Right.
And so for you, what was it like to get to play a character like that in a time period where we don't often get to see characters like that portrayed?
Thank you for that question. It meant so much to me as an actor and as a human being, I think, because growing up, I didn't see Japanese women portrayed like this in Hollywood. So getting to read this kind of script, my first thought was, is that even possible? Like,
Mhm.
could she exist? I mean, it's a fantasy, but my first thought was, well, she did her postdoc in the US in science, like in the 1950s. Like, is that even possible? So the first step for me was to do some research into if that was possible at all. And that really helped me because I found out that the Fulbright scholarships in Japan had started in the late 40s. And there were very few, but there were women who went to America to get higher education. So when I saw those numbers, and also individual stories of people who had done it actually really opened my eyes to what a set idea I had of women and Japanese women in the 1950s. Like at any point in history, there were always, all kinds of people, right? And all kinds of women who act differently, who are different, who do speak up. So when I did that research, I was like, yes, she totally could have existed. I can totally play this person. I can believe as an actor and as a person that this person could exist. And then getting to play her, I think um, it just makes so much. I mean, does she have to always like say, that she's a doctor and all these things? I think yes, because a person who could accomplish that is an anomaly. So she has that kind of an attitude. Everything makes sense in that way.
Yeah, and Anders, you get to kind of play. I do have to call you Durs because every time I interview you, I accidentally call you Durs, and I was like so conscious of not doing it, and I was like, then it feels wrong now. So
Yeah,
Durs,
let it rip.
um,
Just let it rip.
I got to do it. You get to play the supporting third tier of the love triangle that I love very much in this show.
Oh, I think I'm like the one, and then they're like the two and the three. But yeah, go ahead.
Of the love
Go ahead.
triangle. I love this like love triangle and like watching it progress throughout this series was one of my favorite things with like such a twist that I truly didn't see coming. Like it made me so happy in a way that I was like, wow, this is one of those triangles that actually did surprise me because normally I'm like, I got this figured out. I know what's gonna happen, and
Right.
then I didn't.
Yeah.
Or you getting to be that kind of support in a way that I think most of the time in shows like this, the men are like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And that's not what your role is kind of built for. How
Yeah.
is it for you to kind of be, he's a scientist, he's there for a specific reason, but he is more a support system than anything else out of that trio because like Lee Shaw has his purpose, and
Yeah.
then like you have yours, but it is not to be kind of like the front and center, but you still make your presence known when it needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, it was a stretch to play him because I'm so macho in real life. But I found it. I figured it out. No, I look at it like this. Like Bill Rand is a believer. He's somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's got faith, right? He's had this thing happen in his life where he was on a ship. The ship went missing with the rest of the crew, and he's trying to solve the mystery of what happened to his crew, his friends. And when he meets Mari's character, they're both kind of searchers. They're both believers, whereas I think um Wyatt's character Lee is kind of like, well, this is what it is here now. These are the facts in front of me. So as far as I can tell, this is what's up. And then we slowly start to influence him. And as things unfold and he starts seeing things he never thought he would ever see, then like the doors open, you know, and I think that that's when it starts to get a little bit more fluid, and the love triangle becomes kind of less predictable, like you were saying.
Yeah, and Maria, you have to say one of my favorite things in especially Godzilla stories is kind of the moment where you see a character realize that they want to love and protect my chonky boy, which is what I love to call Godzilla, especially in this monsterverse because he is so big and like just yeah, he's such a chonky boy. He's
The
so
cheeks
like
are amazing, right? The shaking when
I
it
love
roars. Yeah, so
I
good.
love him so much. But both you and then Anna's character have those moments, which is such a beautiful kind of through line within this show. For you as an actress, what was, you know, the beauty? I mean, it also probably is a struggle of looking at nothing and being like, oh my gosh, this being. But what was for you the beauty of having that moment of like, that's my character that is looking and having this realization that I want to protect Godzilla.
I think, oh, I get kind of chills like thinking about that because I think for Keiko, my character, the monsters represent so much. It's not just a huge, creature, but I think her philosophy is if monsters are real, what else could be real? It's it's so much potential, right? For anything could be possible, and that's what
Mhm.
keeps her going. I think that's what makes her want to know more. And yeah, it's yeah, and that's why the chase never ends for her, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for talking to me. I love this show so much. It truly, like, I watched all of these and was having the time of my life. So thank you guys. I really, truly, I love Monarch so, so, so much.
Thank you
Great,
so
cool, thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you guys.